Welcome everybody. Today I want to talk about dealing with toxic behavior in video games. We've all seen the person get super angry when they're playing a video game, right? We've all seen just how people act towards one another online, even when they know each other. Just look at any Facebook feed that has talking about politics. Just watch how friends and family members treat each other online. Go to a news forum and look at the discussions. That kind of stuff is magnified times 10 when it's random people and when it's in a game. So whether you're dealing with your child, whether it's you personally or just someone you know, knowing strategies to prevent this and how to deal with it and how to cope are necessary. All kids today, all people, I'm playing games. My children, which are ages 4, 7, and 9, are playing video games. So I need to teach them these strategies and I need to know them myself. This is not just for kids, not just for adults. This is for everyone, for dealing with toxic behavior in games. So there are a number of things I do. And obviously the first thing is you have to know what you're playing or what your kids are playing and the age appropriateness and stuff like that. But if there is an online component, it doesn't matter what the age range is, if there is an online component where people can communicate with each other via voice or via typing, if there is that component, you should expect that you're gonna at some point encounter bullying, toxic behavior, or something inappropriate. Just expect it. So you have to know how to treat it and how to deal with it. So I talk with my children about this and I deal with it myself. So let me give you some strategies. So the first thing that I do is something called mitigation, where I try to prevent it from happening overall. Okay, so what I do to prevent it from happening, and there's only so much you can really do. First of all, if there's any in-game settings that allow me PG only content or something like that, PG only voice, block certain words, I'll use that. That's first option, but not all games have that. And if they don't, maybe it's just turned off and you didn't realize the option was there anyway. So that's my mitigation strategy number 1. Is to check the settings in the game, know the game the kids or you are playing. Okay, mitigation strategy number 2 is to simply make sure everyone feels welcome. I do that by, as soon as I enter the game, I say, hey, how's everyone doing today? Or hello, everyone. I just type some kind of welcoming message, and that will depend on the game you're playing, the appropriate type of welcoming message that there is. If there's some acronym in the game or something, you might type that. But you're going to type a welcoming message to everyone just to say hello. Hey, how's everyone doing today? Just those 2 things alone. Avoiding, looking at in-game settings to avoid it and then welcoming everyone can help prevent a significant amount of toxic behavior. Just those strategies. Saying things like, oh, hey guys, I'm new to this. Don't, hey, I'm just new. I'm learning how to play this. Communicating with people really, really, really prevents those strategies. So that welcoming message where you just kind of put it out there like, hello, how's everyone doing today? Hey, I really want to win. Hey, I'm just learning. Hey, I'm trying out a new role today. Don't get mad. That kind of stuff really goes a long way in preventing any kind of toxic behavior. All right. And my third mitigation strategy is to play with people that you know. If you're playing with your friends or family, the chances of them being toxic to you in game are extremely low. So one of the things I do, especially with middle school or high school students, is tell them you play together as a team with your classmates, the chances of you guys getting mad at each other are extremely low. So you're going to deal with much less toxic behavior. And even at my level, I try to play with coworkers or friends or other gamers that I know who are going to not be toxic to me. And they know I can mess up and stuff, and they're not going to get mad. We're just having fun. That is one of the best ways to make everyone just be actually nice and respect one another while they're playing to get the game. Now, that's mitigation. Mitigation does a lot, but it doesn't prevent it 100%. Because sometimes you don't even know if there's bots out there just doing this to rile people up. So then what we do is, next thing is getting rid of it. So what do we do when this happens? All right, so the first thing I tell my children, and I do myself, is when you notice any kind of toxic behavior, any kind of bullying, anything inappropriate, the first thing, your first step, mute. Every multiplayer game has some kind of mute or ignore or hide option. That means when I press that mute button, I will no longer see their chat and I will no longer hear that person. I'm playing with them, but it's like they're a computer. I can no longer get any of those interactions with them. Step 1, mute. Mute, ignore, whatever it is. Because you're not going to be able to prevent it at that point, and you don't need to hear more of what they're going to say because it probably will only get worse. Ignore, mute. Step 1. Step 2, when the game's over, report that person. Most games have some kind of reporting or violation system. Make sure that you report that person. Those are the 2 and only things you can do directly to that person, from affecting you anymore and actually telling the game what this person's doing. Make sure you report, type out what they did. The game will go back and sometimes that person will get booted. So it is worthwhile. Some of those systems really do work and can prevent people from doing things. I will be on forums and I will see someone say, hey, I've been banned from this game for 2 weeks, or my account's been permanently suspended, and people go back and look at their account and said, well, you said this, and you can't say that kind of stuff. It's really inappropriate, and that's why you got banned for 2 weeks. People do learn their lessons. Not everyone, but some do. So you mute, ignore, you report. All right, now let's talk about the third part. The third part is, how do you internalize this and cope with this yourself? And this is probably the hardest part for my children. It's the easiest part for me because I know that someone might be having a bad day, that I can't take offense to what someone's saying because chances are the person that said something really rude to you might just not even be a human. It might just be a bot. So you have to remember when you're hearing certain things, if someone says something mean to me and, right away they're muted, I have to internalize that and I have to deal with it. So you have to teach children how do you deal with this? And you have to learn to accept that someone said something like that, but you have to also learn that this cannot affect me going forward. This was one person. This may be a kid that said this to you. You don't know who said this. You don't know if someone's just playing this to be mean and just doing something called trolling and just saying mean things on purpose for no reason at all. You cannot take offense. You have to learn how to not take offense to it, to say, wow, someone said that was inappropriate. I took all the steps so they don't do that again. I'm never going to play with that person again because hopefully my report, or I blocked them reporting, will make it so that I never see or play with that person again. And I'm going to play with nice people. So when that happens, you have to teach your children that, hey, this isn't real. This is a video game. Some people are going to say mean things. You know the steps to deal with it. If it's my children, I tell them, you tell me when this happened so that we can talk about it. If it's just me and it happens to me, I don't need to talk to anyone about it. I know what I've done and I know how to deal with it and handle the situation. But when it's my child, I like to remind them, hey, let's talk about this and make sure that they understand everything. Because even though I tell them it might not be a real person, it could have been a little kid, it could have been just a person having a bad day, whatever the situation may be, I want to make sure that they understand and they're okay with going forward with this and they're not hurt by it, because you can't be hurt by a video game. I mean, you can be, but you shouldn't. You got to learn how to not be hurt by this. And eventually, like my 9-year-old now, I can talk to him about this kind of stuff, but he knows how to deal with it. He's not hurt by it. He gets it and he's having fun now. And this is no different from anything that a child will encounter in sports. Or anything in life. So it's really good to have those talks and make sure they learn how to deal with it. So those are my strategies for dealing with this. Remember, there's mitigation, which is saying hello, checking the settings of the game, and playing with people who are your friends that you know, so you know they're not going to say anything. Those are the best strategies to mitigate. Then we have how to deal with this. How to deal with this in-game by muting and by blocking and reporting, that kind of stuff. And then how to deal with it, afterwards. How do you handle this emotionally? By talking to someone to make sure that you understand that this is just a video game, that you can't take offense to this. All right, so that's how you do it. I hope everyone has a nice day, because I don't want you to experience toxic behavior, but we do in life, so let's know how to handle it. Have a nice day, y'all.